In this video, I'm going to show you how the best Black Panther player wins games. Here he is in the 4th global ranking for PlayStation in the entire world. Guys, he's ranked number 4, but depending on the day, like I've seen him in the 1st spot. So he's actually the best player in the world depending on the day. So 4th spot is not bad. He hovers in that top 10 spot, top 5 usually. So here we go. Let's see what he does here. He usually drops in with a spear, does a dash, another spear, another dash, and then he does the swirl or the twirl, and just like that, he takes out the healer in the back line. He's always going to the top vantage point here to look for his next opponent, look for his prey, and he really hunts and kind of stalks his prey. It's pretty amazing. He hovers, repositions, spears, dashes, and then twirls, and then another dash. There, he got the reset, and then another dash. Amazing. Spear, and then another dash. So he got what he could there, and there's not a lot of players there. Here he uses his ult. He may have missed it there, and then he dashes. So he's already gotten a lot of dashes. His spear came back, and he just decides to get out or to climb the wall, and he observes, does a 45-degree angle, and he's always kind of looking, hovering, staying behind, and defending himself using, instead of relying on tanks, it's, this is how you can like solo carry. It doesn't really matter what his team is doing as long as his team is trying and they're there, but those people on his team are phenomenal. They're also the best in the world on console, and we're talking about millions of people. I think something like 20 million people downloaded this game, and I would say, probably at least 15 million to even way more than that of the 20 are on consoles, whether that's Xbox or PlayStation. Now, there is cross-console as well. It could be cross-console or it could be just on PlayStation. I'm not sure. It depends. I'll have to look into that, but there is a possibility that the top 10 players are all PlayStation players, but, I wouldn't like that. I'd like it to be a mix, a nice mix of Xbox and PlayStation players. So it's possible it's just PlayStation Global, which is, millions and millions of people, way more than there are on PC. I know PC is more, about esports and all that, but the reality is most players play like this. So we kind of want to try to help out the people on console, myself included. I'm on console, and I want to see how we can improve. So I like how he just didn't waste a lot of time. He just moved a little bit to the right to climb that wall. He still throws his spear to poke, and now he knows he has to wait. So here he is waiting and doing a double jump and just kind of hiding, right? Waiting and hiding. Looking, okay, he's observing. Going back to this position, this was a better position for him. He got some value here. He was able to stop the enemy team. So this is pretty interesting here. Climbing up this wall and then double jumping. It's almost like kind of inhabiting this space here where the enemy team can't really attack him or see him, and he uses natural cover for defense. So I really like this option. I feel like if you only play DPS, like so many people do, a lot of people don't play tanks or healers. You usually do get one tank or healer in a game, but I've had quite a few where there's no tanks and then maybe one healer or something like that. So I feel like Black Panther is a really good option because he is tanky. He's definitely not a tank, but he's closer to a tank than most other DPSs, right? Him and Wolverine, probably. So if you are going to DPS and maybe you only have one tank, he could probably work as like a pseudo second tank potentially if you have two good healers, right? And other DPS that are doing good work. So here he is poking. This is probably not the best. There's not a lot of natural cover here, but he uses what little natural cover he had there, the other options. And look at that, always attacking from behind. You don't want to attack people from the front where they can see you, and they're all still facing forwards. So he's reading the pressure really, really well, right? And he's attacking where he needs to help in the pressure and the damage department. He's not overextending. He's not, spamming his melees, which I think a lot of people do. Even I do that sometimes. I just started playing this character and I really wanted to, get a better idea of what the character is meant to be played like. So obviously he has a lot of success at the highest level here on console. So here, just like that, spear and then dash and then the twirl missed, but another spear, and he actually got her to go on invis there. So, but he's chasing the other opponent. It's probably better. Here he makes a mistake. That's fine. We all make mistakes. I've actually had this happen to me on this map, and not at this spot, but at a different spot. I thought there was a safe space in the second part of the map on the left-hand side. It looks like it's safe, but it's not. And it's a right thing to assume, right? Is that, well, he can just climb up walls, right? But the death floor is actually really low. The second that you pretty much just touch it, you die, and I think that's by good design, right? Is technically that could be abused, where a Black Panther player or other characters that can do similar things would be able to just stay there and hide. So you want a map that has some good balance to it, and I feel like if the death ceiling or death floor, sorry, was lower, it would be very abusable. So the game is really it's close to perfect, right? Nothing is perfect, but this game is really, really, really good compared to a lot of other games that are out and a lot of modern games. So that's a good example of it too, right? It's just something like even the best players still can learn things, right? But we want to see what we can learn from this individual. So, I mean, that's one thing too that we can learn there is not to repeat that mistake. So here, he's just kind of making sure no one's watching him. I don't think he would attack if people are watching him. I really like that. That was perfect. Perfectly executed. That was also perfectly executed. Look at that. Wow. And then straight to Moon Knight. He had really good tracking there. And then his ult. There. That was quite perfect, actually. He did great. I think that was his best attack yet. Then he even went for the air. Look at that. Going for the Venom that has one sliver of health. Unfortunately, that does not go down. It's too bad you can't aim that. And he gets him with the spear. But it looks like... Yeah, he did. He got him with the spear. That's splash damage, right? So it's pretty good. So here he's looking what he can get. He knows that there's not as many people. 2 people just died, right? So here we force the Mantis ult, which is really great. He did like a 180 there with his twirl. Even here, he's climbing the wall, which is crazy, and kind of hiding, you know? Maybe that wasn't the best thing there, but you never know, right? I'm not going to completely know what he's doing because I don't have that much experience with this character. Nice. Spear. Wow, that was a lot of value there. He got a lot of targets. Yeah, and he actually repositions to the healer to try to get that extra damage on Loki to pressure him. Wow, so many dash resets. That's crazy. And now he has to wait. He's on cooldown, right? So, okay, he's going to the side. He's got to wait for the cooldowns. Yeah, it's better to be here than closer. Eventually, they'll just attack you, right, if you're too close. So it looks like he can go back in. So he just does a normal jump. There, he didn't get the dash that well. All right, so he got this. Back up the stairs. Getting cover, natural cover. Yeah, going for the Psylocke. Excellent. Turns around. Going for the Strange. He doesn't even go for health packs or anything. Like he's not taking a lot of damage, which I find phenomenal. That means he must have really good, like really good read on the pressure of the battle. Yeah, he's just now, and finally, for the first time, we see him melee. Why can he do that? They're in overtime, and they have no choice but to fight on the payload with their backs turned, and they can't do anything. So, just like that. So notice how he doesn't melee often, but when he did it when it was safe. What I noticed is if you melee a lot, you just die, right? Because, like, you need to keep that mobility. You need to really manage your cooldowns, and that's how it's done.